Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this video finds you. Welcome to Villainous News. I'm your host, Mr. Bay. I am not feeling well, but I am going to power through this. So, breaking news: Joe Biden withdraws from U.S. presidential race. U.S. President Joe Biden has announced that he will end his candidacy for re-election, saying, "It is in the best interest of my party and the country." Mumble, mumble, mumble. COVID, immigrants. Where's my pudding? It comes 4 months before Americans go to the polls, upending the race for the White House. It follows weeks of intense pressure from fellow Democrats after a faltering debate performance against Republican Donald Trump at the end of June. In a letter posted to his social media account, he said that it had been the greatest honor of his life to serve as president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling the duties as president for the remainder of my term. He said in his statement that he would address the nation on the matter next week. President Biden thanked his Vice President Kamala Harris, saying she was an extraordinary partner. So, nobody is surprised that this happened. It was just a matter of time. It was a matter of him getting over his stubbornness. Who they wind up picking to replace him, that's a whole different matter. We would like to see who that would be. More than likely, it might be Kamala. I would say that they would probably at least get more votes if they put Senator Kennedy in his place. I mean, they're still going to lose. I mean, this election is in the bag, but at least Kennedy would bring some respectability to the Democratic Party. But I doubt that's where they're going to go. No, we'll see. We'll see. But this is 100% a shoe-in for Trump, especially since they botched the assassination attempt against him. Once that was botched, it was over. It was in the bag. You were already losing. Now you 100% have handed it over to him. But all of this is by design. This is what they do. They whip everybody up into a fever pitch. Right? You try to first you tried to bankrupt him, which didn't work. And this is all political theater. First, you tried to bankrupt him through the courts, through BS trials and litigations. Then oh my God! And then the whole thing with who was the prostitute? Stormy Daniels. Excuse me, sex worker Stormy Daniels, with the quote unquote hush money. Like, if he's on trial for that, then most of American males should be on trial. It's the oldest profession. It's like tipping an OnlyFans model to remove your name off of her registry. It's just ridiculous. But at any rate, yeah, that's it. Biden is done. The Republicans, they now have control of the presidency, barring any more attempts on Trump's life. Where they go from here, nobody knows, but more than likely, trying to think if it was as far as after the next 4 years, more than likely, if I was the Democratic Party, I would actually push for Senator Kennedy, but he probably doesn't want it after what happened to his uncles. His father and his uncle. I wouldn't want anything to do with it. I'd stay exactly where I am. As far as the Republican Party, because Trump can only run once, if they can get over their biases, then you would go with Vivek for the other 4 years. I really don't see where the Democrats can turn. More than likely, they've been talking about Gavin Newsom But if you look at what he's done to California, he has completely run that state into the ground. He's taken away parental rights. You have companies who are fleeing that state. You have rich people, especially celebrities. They're fleeing the state. Like, look at what happened in Oakland. Keith Lee won't even go to Oakland. He had to cut his San Francisco tour short. It's that bad. I mean, that's just for on the ground stuff. But as far as look at your tax base, the Raiders left, the A's left, the basketball team left. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. If you're sitting up here paying $15,000 a month for an apartment and you walk outside, the second you step outside, you're dodging homeless and human feces outside your door. There's nothing there for you. He said, let's go. Biden is out. I'm looking at my TikToks now. I'm going to cry because Project 2025 is horrible. Project 2025 is not going to happen. Don't even worry about it. A lot of the things that are in Project 2025 don't even make sense. Nobody would approve of that stuff. Just because the Heritage Foundation came up with a bill, quote unquote, Project 2025, doesn't mean that it's 100% going to be implemented. They said that about Obamacare, and look what happened with that. I mean, it's just psychotic. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's see what other people are saying. All right. Enough with the Biden Sacco drama. Okay. All right. Yeah, we all know this. Hold on. Let's go to tools recent past hour. Al Jazeera. All right, let's see what Al Jazeera is talking about. Yep. All right, what's going on, Simeon? All right, let's get to it. All right, let's see. Oh, they made the statement on X. Okay. All right, see. U.S. President Joe Biden says he is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee for the 2024 election after he dropped out of the race. Kamala Harris. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee for our party this year. Let's see if I can read this in his voice. Let's see here. Okay. My fellow Democrats, I have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president. And it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee for our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. I know, I'm joking. I know we should be more serious with this. So how did we get here? The turning point came on June 27th when Biden and Trump met each other on stage in Atlanta, Georgia, for the first debate of the 2024 presidential race. Neither candidate had appeared in a public debate since they faced one another in the 2020 presidential race. Critics openly questioned whether they would be rusty. But Biden, who had spent days at the presidential retreat Camp David preparing for the debate, delivered a noticeably wobbly performance. From the moment he stepped on stage, observers noted his stiff walk and hoarse voice, and it only got worse from there, as he delivered meandering answers and incomplete thoughts. Biden's debate performance reignited long-standing criticisms that the 81-year-old was simply too old to handle the pressures of the presidency. In the aftermath, Democrats publicly called on Biden to step away from the race, warning that questions about his ability to lead could endanger candidates up and down the ballot. For weeks, campaign staff for Biden insisted that the Democratic leader is staying in the race. As recently as Friday, campaign chair Jen O'Malley Dillon told MSNBC show Morning Joe that excuse me, let me restart that because I was thinking of something else. As recently as Friday, campaign chair Jen O'Malley Dillon told MSNBC show Morning Joe that Biden had no plans of exiting. Absolutely, the president's in this race. You've heard him say that time and time again, she told the MSNBC anchors. Joe Biden is more committed than ever to beat Donald Trump, and we believe on this campaign, we are built for the close election that we are in, and we see the path forward. But that all changed today as the campaign delivered a muting statement acknowledging Biden would be withdrawing from his re-election campaign. The decision plunges the Democratic Party into uncertainty, less than 4 months ahead of the election. Biden joins a small group of U.S. presidents who had decided to throw in the towel after just one term. The last was Lyndon Johnson in 1968, a year also marked by political turmoil and violence. That was the civil rights era. Johnson's replacement as nominee, then Vice President Hubert Humphrey, went on to lose heavily to Richard Nixon. Biden says he plans to serve out the remainder of his term in office. This ends on January 20th next year. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it's been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest. Okay, we already read that. And yeah, that's it. That's where we're at. So, all right, that's where we're staying. It is over for Joe, for Sleepy Joe, and we can call it a day. You guys take care. We will catch you later and hit you with more updates as they come across the desk. Peace.